Alright everyone, we're back here. Today we're talking about who should be the next Blues captain. Now, the former captain was Alex Pietrangelo, who actually just went to, a couple of weeks ago, signed by the Vegas Golden Knights. And we know about that because he won the Stanley Cup as the captain. He's the first Stanley Cup for the Blues in the franchise history. And he was the captain. And he has signed a pretty big contract deal with the Vegas Golden Knights. And this looks like about a 7-year contract for $8.8 million. And yes, $8.8 million for 7 years for $61.6 million. Pietrangelo was disappointed why the Blues couldn't get something together. He probably didn't want to break the bank over him because literally they didn't want to, and they want to have some cap so they can work with things. I know they traded Jake Allen to the Montreal Canadiens, so they have about $4 million relief of cap, and yeah, they worked with that. So we'll see what happens here. And of course, we know Torrey Krug did sign that $6 million contract, so they brought someone else in, cheaper, on long term too. So we'll see how that goes. They have 4 contestants, 4 candidates too, I would say, to be the captain. And let's talk about all 4 and see who makes the best captain. So starting off number 1 and the Stanley Cup champion from 2019, that's Brayden Schenn. He's a great center. Brayden Schenn, he's signed this big contract for 8 years starting in 2020 to 2021 season, and he's going to be there for quite a long time. So the first thing you want to know about a captain is you just don't want to be like, oh, it has 1 year left, let's make him a captain, and yay. No, you don't want to do that because the next year he might walk in free agency and name a new captain. So you want someone who has some term left. You want some term in the contract, so you know that he'll be around for a while, not keep changing captains, which is annoying and changes a lot of things in the locker room too. So he has 3 seasons with the St. Louis Blues. Of course, he was actually traded to the Blues in 2017 from the Philadelphia Flyers for Yoeli Latela, that $4.7 million contract. That's gone. He's not National Hockey League anymore. That 2018 first round pick became Joel Farabee, pretty solid prospect, and a 2017 first round pick, which was Washington, who became Morgan Frost, 2 really solid prospects for Philly. So there you go. And that brought on Brayden Schenn, who's actually been very solid for these St. Louis Blues, and has been a really solid center down the middle for them. He gets about 60 points. Let's even out to 60. The first year in St. Louis has 70 points and 54 points in 18-19 season. 19-20 season he had 58 points. So let's say he's a 60-point guy. About that. 55, 60, let's say that. So very solid player, and he'll be there for a long time. And he won the Stanley Cup with the Blues in 2019, so he's a great center, and he's more the second line center for them because O'Reilly's kind of like your first line center. Second line you got Schenn, and third line Bozak, and then fourth line could be Suncrest. It could be McEachran. It could be many players. So there you go. Or Suncrest played the third line too. So, but Schenn is a great option, great term, and it's a solid player who keeps you around 50 to 60 points. So, and a good solid player that can probably lead a team. Alright, going on to Ryan O'Reilly, who doesn't have much term. This is, out of all these, this is the one with the least amount of term. He has 3 years left on a deal until he becomes a UFA. He had 2 seasons with the St. Louis Blues. Of course, he was traded from Buffalo, which he absolutely did not want to be in Buffalo anymore because he kind of lost interest of hockey in Buffalo with the losing and all of that. Absolutely, he couldn't stand it. So he got traded to the Blues, and we all know how horrible a trade that was for the Sabres. How that turned out for a bunch of fourth-line centers, literally. Berglund, Samoka, Tage Thompson, he's alright. He's not going to become much of anything. A 2019 first-round pick, became number 31, thinking it would be a lottery pick. Became the last pick of the draft in Ryan Johnson for Ryan O'Reilly. So, he has 3 years left, 2 seasons with the St. Louis Blues, and a guy who very much can carry this team. He has 61 points last June 19-20 season. 18-19 season, he had 77 points and a plus 22 that year. So, he could be a guy who actually puts more points, more of a leader, but he has 3 years. So, you also probably want to see if he really likes in St. Louis, like wants to stay there. But it only has 3 years, so you can make that. But after 3 years, he could walk to the free agency. So we'll see how that turns out. Of course, you never know. He'll be about like 32 years old when he does walk. So that's what would happen. Alright, let's go on to Justin Falk, who's actually a former captain, now at the St. Louis Blues, but with the Carolina Hurricanes for like a year. That's about it. But he signed a long-term deal with the St. Louis Blues, and I knew Doug Armstrong, the GM of the Blues, knew that Pietrangelo, if he doesn't sign, we need a backup, and they brought in Justin Falk. I know they traded him to the Blues, of course, and the Blues gave up Edmondson, who with the Montreal Canadiens down, because the Hurricanes have really solid defense. You really don't need them. And also Dominic Bach, who's our AHL prospect for a 7th rounder, also for Justin Falk. So that deal went through, and he has a long-term contract. 1 season with the St. Louis Blues this year, and he had 16 points in 69 games. This one you might start to regret this contract in a couple years. I really do feel it's 7 years. That's a contract. Yikes. That's one you might regret. And I know he gets around 30 points. We'll see what he can do. So, I don't know if he'll become captain again. He wasn't the best as captain, so maybe they're like, no, we won't make you captain. And the last guy we're going to be looking at, the 4th candidate, and that is Torey Krug. Now, Torey Krug was with the Bruins his whole career, and a great puck-moving defenseman, especially on the power play. What a fantastic play on the power play, passing to his former teammates in Marchand, Bergeron, Pastrnak, setting up a one-timer for those players, absolutely doing that. And he had 49 points last year, and he's locked up for 7 years, so he can definitely be a great player. He's definitely a great player, and he's smaller. He's not the best 5-on-5 defensively, but he definitely does a fantastic job with the special teams on the power play. He's a power play specialist, and so we'll see what he can bring for his first year in St. Louis. He's excited to go there, and it's his first year, and I have to say, I like that deal for the St. Louis Blues. It's not breaking the bank either. $6.5 million. Same for Falk, which Krug would definitely basically double his totals, both for Falk. So, Torey Krug, you have to like it, and we'll see what he does in his first year in St. Louis. I'm sure some great things he'll do. So, who makes the best captain? I would have to say, boy. I'm going to go with this one. I know he has 3 years left. Yes, he does. But I have a feeling they could re-sign him after that 3 years. And they can bring him back and say, you're a captain. And he is actually he won the Conn Smythe for 2019 playoffs. When the Stanley Cup, he was a Conn Smythe. He was MVP. There you go. And he was a big part of that run. He has the leadership. He knows how to get to the Stanley Cup final. Not just that, but how to turn around a season. He's done it, and I have to give it to Ryan O'Reilly. Even though he has 3 years, the less than any of these guys on the board, Ryan O'Reilly, if I had to pick another one, it's kind of tied between Torey Krug and Brayden Schenn. I would probably go with Torey Krug, because he has a lot of experience going to Stanley Cup final with the Bruins, just being really solid offensive defenseman on special teams defenseman? I don't know. Or would you go for Braden Shen? Maybe I'll go for Braden Shen for the second one. Then Krug, then Falk. So there you go. And someone's saying Sundqvist, but I don't know about Sundqvist. Oscar Sundqvist, I guess you could. It doesn't have to be the best player. It has to be the captain. So I guess you could put Oscar Sundqvist in there. More of a physical center. But we'll see. But I'm going to go with Ryan O'Reilly will be the next captain. And he really just fits that mold perfectly since they lost Alex Pietrangelo to free agency, to the Vegas Golden Knights. It's amazing how Vegas has such a great team. They're like, we'll take the best UFA, come on in. And move some cap out, Nate Schmidt, and they go bring in Alex Pietrangelo. So, thanks for watching. Let me know in comments below what you think. Who you think will win. Who you think will not win, but become the next captain of the Blues. Right, to next video. Bye.